Do you remember the 2010 to 2015 internet? Well, I do.
Webkinz. The key for this Christmas is interactive.
100 million players. That's 100 million players combined. Animal Jam, Play Wild, Build-A-Bearville, and so much more sites that were specifically designated for kids and by safe adults. Now, what happened to the kid-safe internet? We have platforms like Roblox where adults play with kids.
Roblox continues to face criticism and lawsuits in several countries over child safety issues.
So, what happened to the kid-safe internet? Let's find out. Webkinz was early in the genre. At its peak, Webkinz was making over $750,000 a year. That much money meant the company could afford to focus on actual safety issues and actual safety products. One feature that came from all this money that Webkinz was getting from buying physical plushies was a feature called Kinz Chat. In this feature, it was safe chat. Kids could only use pre-approved words from a certain dictionary. And on top of Webkinz, we didn't just have Webkinz. In fact, we had a platform called Build-A-Bearville, which launched in 2007 by Build-A-Bear. This is where things started to change just a little bit. Big companies were starting to notice that kids gaming was becoming huge. And Disney paid $350 million for a similar platform called Club Penguin. And I'm sure we all know what Club Penguin is if you're watching this video. Absolutely huge in 2008, 2009, and 2010. These companies thought that subscription models with physical toys would be the future of the internet. Club Penguin sold toys. Build-A-Bear sold toys. Back then, the model of the kid economy was really changing. And the kid economy model was you would buy a toy in real life which acted as the verification system, and that verification system would move on to the kid world. On top of this, worlds were designed directly for kids, with moderation words specifically being included. Safe chat was the normal, and now we're seeing a shift where a lot of brands like Roblox are trying to capitalize on this model yet again, almost 20 years later. The reason why brands notice these platforms is because on Webkinz, you would spend about 90 minutes on an average site according to statistics like Webkinz. Other games like Toontown Online, Pirates of the Caribbean, these are games that all use similar subscription models. And unfortunately, this era didn't last forever of golden peak where digital websites were pretty much making cash after cash after cash because Webkinz lost a lot of its value.
Thank you. Thanks for coming today. A user downloaded the 3 billionth application from the App Store. This is in around 18 months since inception. And most of the Macs that we ship now are laptops. They're mobile devices too. Apple is a mobile devices company. That's what we do. And we asked ourselves, with $15.6 billion of revenues last quarter, how does Apple stack up against all the other companies that sell mobile devices? But we think we've got something that is. And we'd like to show it to you today for the first time. And we call it the iPad.
In 2011, Webkinz lost 40% of its visitors. Why? Because of the iPad. At the time, it was absolutely revolutionary. A tablet anywhere, anytime. Couldn't survive when Apple took 30%. This was a majority of what they gained through revenue. And on computers, credit card fees were only 3%. That is a massive profit margin eating into what could have been contributed to safety, to stuff like that, and much more. And when you have this big, clunky desktop computer, why wouldn't you just go to the tablet? And so this is where people move to desktops and phones and more quick entertainment.
Must have iPad. Connection terminated. Initiating self-diagnostic protocol.
The App Store changed what parents thought was a fair price for content. So, When parents were used to paying $10 or $15 for good web games, when all of a sudden it went down to $3, of course they're going to move to the mobile. Mobile apps would often cost 99 cents, or in some cases, most are free with microtransactions. And $15 for a Webkinz membership started looking like way too much money. Parents would ask why they should pay $15 when Angry Birds was practically free. Unfortunately, what we saw was a lot of the platforms that made the 2010s, 2008, 2009, 2006, all the way back to 2004, just absolutely disappear. Disney shut down Toontown Online, Pirates of the Caribbean Online, and Pixie Hollow all on the same day. The death of kids' online safeties can all be related to one day, and that is September 19th, 2013. On this day, Disney shut Toontown Online, Pirates of the Caribbean Online, and almost every single site that they own that was some sort of virtual kids-safe world. I would say this date is specifically the death of kids' online content, because after that date, everything went with it.
Digital threat detected. Must take action against mobile games.
It wasn't making dollar signs, and what does Disney rely off of? Dollar signs. So when Disney said they were shifting to mobile, they meant they couldn't make the old money the old way anymore.
A new study has revealed internet gaming addictions could be affecting up to 150,000 Aussie kids, and their parents may not even know it. Experts say the syndrome should be treated as seriously as other addictions because of how severely it affects children's behavior and their self-esteem.
The 2017 era marked the end of Disney's kid-safe virtual worlds. Between 2013 and 2017, millions of kids under 13 left safe spaces and went to Instagram and Snapchat. Instagram and Snapchat are extremely dangerous for young children.
For children on social media, recent cases expose an explosion of predators prowling online. We want to hear from you. Are social media apps doing enough to protect kids?
The horror stories reported daily. In March, Tracy Heinfeld of Leeds arrested for allegedly driving to Florida, planning activity with a minor, a teen she contacted through Snapchat. A Florida teenager accused of uploading child to the app. A Washington high school coach sentenced to 40 years for crimes.
When kids would start shifting from these kid-focused apps to spaces where adults were on, this was a really big downfall of the internet. And I say this because these apps are made for people 13 and older, and they have no, if not any, safety tools for kids at that time.
Media series.
You're right, Brad. It's not just about taking and sending photos. Kids are using the app to DM, which is direct message strangers. And that's not all.
Some kids are using Snapchat to send photos, believing they disappear after a few seconds. But they must remember, photos sent or posted never really disappear.
At the end of the day, all a kid has to do is click, "I am 13," and the site will automatically let them in. This forced companies to change from having all users pay a little to having 2% of the users pay a lot.
Social media causing modern-day mayhem among kids. I mean, this runs the gamut from bullying to depression to... Tonight, ABC 15's Angie Cayley has the story of an 11-year-old girl who caved to the pressures of a Snapchat predator, and the Chandler woman sounding the alarm.
In this change, Snapchat had to address how their goals were shifting too. When everyone paid for a subscription, you were able to filter out the bad users, and this is what made these games fun. And when only 2% of those users actually paid, companies made the game addictive for those big spenders they called whales. The free-to-play model killed the budget for human safety moderators because there was no whales that were funding it. They're probably going to go with, "I don't see a problem," and so they aren't going to fund these human safety moderators. Instead, safety became a cost. It was a liability that nobody wanted. At the end of the day, you look at most of these corporate meetings and you think, this is making us lose profit, so why would we want to have it? And apps figured out that a lot of their revenue could come even more if they made an addictive mobile game. We saw the rise of Fruit Ninja, throw the paper in the ball, hit the buddy. These were all just the beginning, and these apps were perfectly fine. But Steve Jobs in 2010 made a letter, and it was called Thoughts on Flash, which basically explains why Flash doesn't work for these games on the iPad.
I wanted to jot down some of our thoughts on Adobe's Flash products, so that customers and critics may better understand why we do not allow Flash on iPhones, iPods, and iPads. Adobe has characterized our decision as being primarily business-driven. They say we want to protect our App Store, but in reality, it is based on technology issues.
These sites were officially dead when Adobe killed Flash support on December 31st, 2020, which ended this era. So even if the sites were still around, they couldn't even afford to get their sites up anymore because there was no software to put up these sites anymore. Sites like Neopets had to use broken software that barely worked. And the safeguarding died because at the end of the day, it was too expensive to keep alive. Now,
Connection rebooting because it was terminated due to iPad. Opening sequence. YouTubeKids.pdf.
Now, we're gonna fast forward a bit to 2015. And in 2015, Google launched YouTube Kids.
The YouTube Kids app is designed to be a family-friendly place for kids to explore new interests through online video. We understand that you may want to switch between YouTube and YouTube Kids depending on who is watching. As a parent, you have the ability to more easily switch from YouTube into the safer YouTube Kids app on devices like smart TVs, streaming devices, and game consoles. We hope this creates a more streamlined watching experience on shared TV devices in family spaces across both YouTube and YouTube Kids.
Google launched YouTube Kids in about February of 2015, and they promised that technology could replace these human safety checkers. And this promise was not based on solving how big the issue was. 500 hours. That's how much of content was uploaded in 2015. And that's in every minute, by the way. That's not every second. And honestly, this made it impossible for humans to actually find this content and remove it. One thing that Google did was the platform used cheap computer programs to filter content instead. And this was really disturbing because it brought something known as ElsaGate. This was a disturbing phenomenon that occurred right during this era, and I'm sure a lot of us remember it. This was the Elsa pregnancy videos, where Elsa would get pregnant from Spider-Man every other week, which, for a kid's licensed character, is extremely disturbing, and a kid will not know the difference. There were millions of kids who watched these weird computer-made videos with Spider-Man and Elsa in them, and they would be produced by these massive content farms because YouTube rewarded YouTube Kids. They would be put in a special section where kids could just watch whatever they wanted as long as it was marked as YouTube Kids. It didn't actually have human moderators at a larger scale to pretty much filter this out. Some of the videos even included needles, gross medical humor, and sexual content, and YouTube hid these videos on YouTube Kids because they tricked the automated filters. And unfortunately, kids would turn on normal YouTube and see these ElsaGate videos. There's a specific strategy to YouTube where creators would use popular keywords and bright colors to confuse the scanners that moderated this content. And if you're an algorithm AI, you see Elsa in colors, you think it's safe for 4-year-olds. And it took a massive boycott in 2017 to make YouTube act. So in 2017, Mars, HP, and Deutsche Bank stopped spending money on ads on the platform solely because of this ElsaGate content.
Mars, Lidl, Adidas, and others have pulled all advertisements from YouTube after some were found next to clips used by predators to target children. Investigations by the BBC and The Times found tens of thousands of predatory accounts have been used to leave explicit comments on children's videos. Problems with the video sharing site's reporting system have been blamed for letting the accounts persist. YouTube said it was working urgently to clean up the site.
They realized their commercials were running before these inappropriate videos of Elsa getting pregnant, which I wouldn't want my ad in there either. And YouTube deleted thousands of channels to get rid of this, but at the end of the day, the channel damage was already done. And yeah, they may not pretend this issue doesn't exist anymore, but it absolutely exists. I've talked to creators in the Roblox system who run these entire faceless channels about Rumi getting pregnant from K-pop demon hunters now, and the recommendation system still rewards the wrong kind of videos. The algorithm only cares about two things on YouTube, which is watch time and clicks. And slop, that's content that uses the sensory overload clicks instead of storytelling. A video of a 3D baby eating colorful plastic balls will keep you watching for 40 minutes. And even though these videos are very disturbing at heart, the YouTube algorithm calls this a good video and just shows it to more kids. That's how it works. If a video gets clicked, and a toddler obviously doesn't know how to click off because they can't read, it's going to promote it to more kids. And the system doesn't care about the animation quality or even the educational value. YouTube's thing only cares if you're not clicking off, and if you're a 2-year-old, you're not going to click off. How much does an average slot video cost to make? $2? Maybe? Human actors, what, you pay them $20 an hour? It's maybe $100 for a slot video that's going to make about $7,000. These channels were printing back in 2016. The YouTube algorithm was much different back then. And unfortunately, this made quality shows like Bluey still can't compete with content farms that make 50 videos a day. And this shift in 2016 changed how kids watched media.
I'm confused. Error. Does it get worse? I've heard from our sources. It gets worse. Oh, dear.
So there's this $50,000 Roblox channel factory that runs on 14-year-old kids drawing thumbnails for $18 a month. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that these homeschooled kids aged 14 to 17 are working until midnight every single night. That's not a typo. That's the actual price tag on child in the Roblox content machine. This is happening before your very eyes. You think you know how these Roblox channels work? You don't. What you're seeing is the mentor-admin-worker pyramid, a system so efficient at grinding up young artists that it looks like legitimate business from the outside. Facade versus the factory. Once you see it, you can't unsee the trauma in these networks. The Federal Trade Commission made YouTube pay $170 million for this Elsagate content, this addictive algorithm content, and so much more. This violated something known as the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or what we call COPPA.
COPPA usually refers to the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act of 1998, a U.S. federal law requiring operators of websites or online services directed to children under 13 to obtain parental consent, provide privacy notices, and maintain data security. It protects against collecting personal info like names, emails, or IP addresses without consent.
And this was a very important act that was introduced with good intentions but later got warped, which we'll talk about later in the video. And YouTube introduced a new system in January 2020 to fix this. And now creators now have to label videos like mine as made for kids or made not for kids. This caused a lot of problems because if a video was made as marked for kids, it would destroy your business. Do you want to know how much money a kid's YouTube channel makes on a made for kids video? Absolutely nothing, because they can't track you and they can't show you ads. And if a video was made as marked for kids, you lost almost all your community features. And when you have the comment section turned off, nobody can talk to each other, which YouTube marks as nobody's engaging with the video. So your video will get no views. The mini player disappeared, so if a kid wanted to play a game while doing another app, a kid wouldn't. So why would you watch that? You just watch an adult video. And yeah, it's just a check mark. Who's gonna check the check mark if it's like, oh, lose 80% of your income? Absolutely nobody. And notifications stopped because, again, you can't track data, so subscribers didn't know about new episodes. Community tab posts disappeared, so creators couldn't post updates or polls on their kids' channel. And unfortunately, a lot of the teams you see on YouTube are ran by teams.
If you're here as a buyer, wondering why your artist was placed on this list, this is not about you, the buyer, getting scammed. You get your commissions that you paid for. The scam that is being spoken about is of the artist themselves. These black company accounts are ran by a broker, a middleman, not the artist. In most cases, multiple artists are working on your commission: line arts, coloring, rigging, etc., etc. These artists are underpaid and overworked. Some not even getting paid more than 5% of the price of commission, required to do multiple pieces daily and getting paid monthly. In some cases, there are minors being forced to draw NSFW content as young as 13. And there have also been reports that sometimes these companies resell rigged models on artist sites in other countries.
And independent animators and teachers couldn't survive that cut. And this led to a lot of studios leaving the platform. Only massive content farms could afford to operate at such a big scale for kids. And independent artists were replaced by Vietnam operations, Cyprus, Russia, and Indonesia. These are the top places where YouTube content is produced for kids because it's cheap. Unfortunately, these farms care about volume and efficiency and not storytelling and art. And this accidentally pushed teens and tweens towards the adult side of YouTube. The really adult side. When a 13-year-old searches for Minecraft, the system treats it as for adults, and so the recommendation engine then suggests drama, news, or inappropriate stuff. And over half the top kids' content now comes from outside the United States. So these regulations actually meant to protect kids' data, destroy good content, and destroy creators. I've been in Congress talking about this. The COPPA Act actually helps no one, because it replaces good content with these industrial farms who can just circumvent it.
So if kids don't have YouTube or virtual spaces, where do they go, Miss Betterstrange? My computer cannot compute.
Animal Jam was one of the last independent virtual worlds for these kids. In WildWorks, the company behind Animal Jam hit a financial wall. It wasn't making money because kids stopped liking the game. It was too expensive to find new players. And when Apple and Google limited data tracking, these advertising costs skyrocketed for a kid-safe game. From company metrics, it cost over $5 in advertisement just to get one new person to install the game. And the math stopped working and Animal Jam collapsed. So, in 2025, Animal Jam launched inside of Roblox. This was a significant moment because it marked the end of private, safe spaces, and WildWorks just gave up independence and moved to the chaotic Roblox system. As a Roblox creator, I can definitely say it's bad. The Roblox version looks really strange, it has cheap assets. And the human touch is missing in this version. The safety is also missing. In fact, one core feature, the Roblox doesn't have the trading system, which was the core of the original game. But possibly the most dangerous change of this was Roblox losing safety control, and Animal Jam losing the trust it once had.
The popular online game Roblox is making some major changes, including a new chat feature that restricts messaging to people around the same age as the gamer. The move comes as Roblox continues to face criticism and lawsuits in several countries over child safety issues. The change follows the company's introduction of an age estimation tool. That feature requires players to take a video selfie, which is deleted after it verifies age. Users can still access the platform without submitting a face scan, but are unable to access the chat function.
And so Roblox, to be like these kid safety platforms, introduced video verification in 2026. Now, what video verification does is it forces you to take a selfie of your face, and then you have to upload it.
How do you do face verification? I will give the link in the comment box, so come there. There are many faces here, so I pick anyone. Like if I want to take this one, I clicked on it. After clicking on it, it will take a little loading time. Once it is loaded, we can rotate it any way we want. So first, go to the face that needs verification and click on it. For this, you will need two mobile phones. Look, first come here, and after clicking here, as soon as it tells you to turn the face this way, turn it this way. This is done, then the top is done, then the sides are done too. So we can do the verification like this, then click on submit and it will be done. It's very easy. I will give the link to this website in the comment box, and that's it for today's short video. I will bring the next video on chat ban, so make sure to subscribe.
As a verified Roblox creator, I can say right now that this is the most stupid feature I've ever had in my life for a kid playing Roblox. I understand if you're developing and making content for kids, you have to have some sort of verification system, but this is genuinely a dumb system. Because kids aren't paying through just paying, they're paying their identity through their actual identities, and this can be dangerous, especially considering FN Tech had leaks, numerous platforms had leaks, and this makes it difficult for actual Roblox to operate. I think at the end of the day, a lot of kids' content was unfortunately destroyed. And it makes it hard because kids nowadays have no safe space they can go. This video was inspired by Izzy, you can check her out, but the solution to kids' content is we need to literally bring back sites that verify, and I think this is really stupid. Not through age verification, but through other measures. The purchase thing is a great way to keep people out. I know Roblox started doing that, where if you purchase something, you're essentially verified, and they should do that with the rest of the things. Because it ensures that only paying quality customers are there, and it also doesn't compromise the safety of children. When you compromise the safety of children, everyone loses. And it makes me wonder, what if I grew up different? What if I grew up without Moshi monsters, without kid-safe platforms like that? I don't know what I'd be as an adult. And that's what these kids are going through today. It is very, very difficult to be a kid on the internet in this world, and that is what I cover on this channel. If you enjoy this kind of content, please be sure to subscribe. I upload these videos twice a month or even weekly sometimes about digital culture. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.